Okay, hey folks, Mark Locklear here, and quick screencast on chapter one. So, if you haven't watched the lecture, for the online class, be sure you do that. But this is just purely for the exercises this week, which is really going to go pretty quick. Really, the only thing I want to do this week is make sure you understand how to log into the Linux server and then log into MySQL. Log into my MySQL also. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to pull up a terminal. So we're going to be spending a lot of time working in the terminal this semester. You can also use VS Code to connect via terminal if you want. So I'm not going to go into that. You can do your own research if you're curious about that. Primarily, the way you'll probably see me working is inside a terminal window like this. So the way a terminal works, and this is true for whether on Mac or whether on Windows, is that it's basically command line, right? You'll have probably heard the term command line used also, and so th this is an acquired taste, and if this for many of you this may be the first time you've actually had to work much inside of a terminal, but I'm just going to jump right in here. So just to give you a sense of how all of this is sort of put together in the moving parts is I have an Ubuntu Linux server set up, and then I have MySQL installed on that server. And all of the students are going to be using everybody in the DBA 120 class, both online and in-person class, they're going to be using that single server. So all of you will have Linux accounts set up and then MySQL accounts set up. So we're actually talking about two different users here. So first off, to actually log into the server, you'll be using this SSH command. So you'll do SSH, then that'll be followed by your username. Your username is going to be the same username you use to log in to Moodle. Most likely that's going to be for the vast majority of you, I think, if not everybody. It'll be first name, middle initial, and last name. And then so that'll be a username. And then this last portion here is the actual server. I've got a URL that I set up for my own that uses my own domain name. So dba120.locklear.me. So this is the command you use at the command line to log in or SSH into the server. You'll hit that. Now, in my case, I don't have a password set up. I'm using SSH keys, but for you, you'll be prompted when you enter that SSH command, you'll be prompted to enter a password. Just one quick note, this catches students lots of times. When you type in your password, you're not going to see anything on the screen. That's just the way, Linux and SSH servers do things. So don't be alarmed when you type in the password if you don't see any. You're not going to get any feedback on the screen. Just know that as you type it in, it's going to be entered, and then you'll hit return, and you should get something like this. Now, once you log in, you'll go to a home folder, and your home folder is not going to have anything inside of it. So now, once you've done that, now we can move over to the actual coding assignments for this week. And so basically this first portion, I've sort of walked you through all that. Your password is going to be the first two letters of your last name. The first one is capitalized, the first one is uppercase, the second one is lowercase, and then in addition to your student ID. So you can see I've got that here. Hopefully that's clear as mud. So it's the capitalized first letter of your last name, the lowercase second letter of your last name, and then your student ID. Okay, so that's what the default password I have set up for your user. Okay, then once you log in, you're going to be running the CP scripts. You're going to be copying these files. I've got a command line tutorial earlier up under the learning resources. Check that out. Let me click there. check that out and just sort of walk through that. That'll give you some basics, whether it's on Windows or Mac, about how to navigate inside Linux and using the command line. But just be prepared. For many of you, be prepared for some pain there. I mean, I've had students drop the class in the past before because they, said, "Hey, I took this class to learn MySQL, not command line." But, we're trying to have our students be sort of work ready when they leave AV Tech. And so if all you know is MySQL and you can't do anything else, then honestly, you're not very valuable to a lot of employers. So learning things like command line are going to be, as a part of the class too. You're not just here to learn just MySQL. Um, and so the only other thing you have to do once you log in, you can use this passwd command to change your password. And so really all you do after you log in is you do passwd. It's going to prompt you for your current password, which again is going to be that default password that I set up for you. And then you'll want to set a new password up. Go ahead and set a new password up. If I can get out of here. Go ahead and create a new password. Don't leave that default password because conceivably, your student ID is not really that secure, so someone else could probably easily guess your password by just looking at the first two letters of your last name along with your student ID. And then the other thing you'll be doing again is this copy command. So you'll be copying, so CP-R and then home, this book scripts command, and then you'll be, the dot tells Linux to copy the files to your local folder. Um, so you'll be copying the book scripts command along with the DB underscore setup folder. And then next week, we'll actually be loading your first databases. Okay. So I think that's all I'm going to do for now. I'll stop there. Again, if you have any questions, let me know.